I have arrived at Cohen's Gap State Park. I've been here the last couple of hours. This is the reservoir and the dam. It's very pretty, lots of swimming, and the campground's over that way. And what's exciting about this spot is it is a new trail for me. Southern trailhead of the Standing Stone Trail, which I will be taking for the next 84 miles, the entirety of the trail. I came in through that way on the Tuscarora. The Tuscarora continues across the bridge and then over that other side. But I went down that way to pick up a box with food that I had shipped to myself with a couple goodies from my mom. So my pack is about 8.5 pounds heavier right now, plus water. What I know so far about the Standing Stone Trail is that it was created in the 1980s. It used to be called the Lynx Trail, and it was created to connect the Tuscarora, which I was just on, with the Mid-State Trail, which I will be taking next. And it's a very passionate group of volunteers that created and maintain this trail. And there's a point, a spot called 1,000 Steps that I'm gonna go up. And they have a lot of stone steps on this trail. I picked up, they had a great map guide with the entire thing at the park office. I am just gonna hike a couple miles, I think, to the first available campsite, going into Buchanan State Forest lands. I am excited. A new trail. I ended up hiking in 5 miles. It was getting dark, so I set up my tent real quick, and I have a beautiful opportunity for a stove set up. The 2 rocks here were just waiting for me. So dinner tonight is gonna be beef ramen noodles with peanut butter. So it's gonna be kind of a pad thai, which I've tried before and is actually quite tasty. I'm about to get going for day 2, but before heading out, here's my campsite. This was the fire ring that I used last night to make my dinner. I finished, and literally just as I was almost done eating, the rain started coming down and the thunderbolts took place for a little while. So the location of this site is right after Sharp Trail. The intersection with, I don't know how to point, the intersection with Sharp Trail is a little bit down that way, not far at all. So yeah, I'm gonna get going. It's wet. It's supposed to thunderstorm tonight, this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon, but hopefully the rocks won't be too treacherous or slippery, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yeah. This is the charming kind of thing that I'm starting to recognize all along this trail. It's like they turned boulders into this adorable little passageway with the little, like, lining on the 2 sides. It's so cute. Love it. I set up camp at these power lines. It took reading the instructions from the guide and the camping site list several times to actually figure out what they were saying about the site. So apparently this spot is directly on the trail, so they kind of say, well, there's a flat spot, but it's very exposed. But if I go back down the way I came and then hang a left on the Blue Blaze Trail that leads to a nearby road, about 350 feet down that way is the camping area that they recommend. Now, water is a whole other story. After reading it another 5 times, I figured out that the spring that's nearby here is about 0.4 miles going that way. So it's gonna be an expedition to get water. But we need water. Can't go overnight without water. I need to hydrate my food and drink. So my solar panels are sitting over there soaking up what's left of the sun. It was a bit brighter before, now it's kind of hidden behind clouds. I'm gonna take my headlamp and yeah, try to find the spring. I've never struggled this much to find water. It would have been a hassle to carry it in because the last source was several miles back. But that's how this goes. Okay, this is what I was after. I thought I was walking for way too long. I came down the road that way, it zigzagged, and thank goodness I heard it because I knew it was in this general area, didn't know much more. So I came down from the Blue Blazed trail onto road and road walked for a bit, at least like half a mile. But the trail loops around here very close. This should take me back to the trail. So I've ended up doing kind of a loop. And if you were coming from the trail, I wonder if this is telling you that there's water here. Water! Yes, right there. Okay. And I'm gonna climb my way back up to the top where I have my campsite. Good morning. I'm about to start hiking on my 3rd day on the Standing Stone Trail. Last night I camped here by these power lines, which means a cool view on both sides. My campsite was right over there. And this is what I have in front of me right now. A bunch of clouds. The view was better last night. Before I get going, since I haven't done a proper update yet, I'll just fill in all the stuff that happened and a little bit of what's coming up. This is map number 1 of the set 9 maps that you can download from the Standing Stone Trail website. And so day 1, I started at Cowan's Gap State Park. That morning I had hiked in 5 miles along the Tuscarora Trail. I had kind of a break, showers in the lakeside showers, picked up a resupply package that the state park was kind enough to hold for me with my food for the upcoming section. And that afternoon, I hiked 5 miles along the Standing Stone Trail up until my campsite, which was just past the intersection with Sharp Trail here. These red C marks that you see on this map are modifications that I made before leaving based on the list of campsites. So that first day of hiking was really cute. It was a bunch of dirt roads to, well, first it was a nice little lakeside trail, and then you hopped on around here dirt roads to get up to the ridge. And then once you're on the ridge, it was either rock scrambles or path. And then yesterday I hiked down from the ridge, which, oh my goodness, they have switchbacks on this trail. They're adorable and wonderful and cute and nice. By comparison to the Tuscarora, it was amazing. And so, this all is right here, Cove Mountain. So hike down from Cove Mountain, cross the road, across the roads, and then hiked up to Backlog Mountain. And this was all a bunch of like forest paths. You didn't really see much except for trees and hear birds. And yesterday was mentally just a rough day for me. It was the easiest hike I'd had in several days, but I think I kind of crashed after the intensity of the Tuscarora. So yesterday I was just dragging myself. It was so easy. It was such an easy hike and an easy walk. Where you had boulders, they made these adorable little pathways that could be leading up to a cottage. I mean, they were gorgeous. But I just, like, my whole system was resisting the hike. So I hit such a mental low. Well, I actually didn't have coffee in the morning, which might have affected it also. I have a coffee situation to resolve. But I hit such a mental low that I sat down at one point and ordered like $40 worth of either squeeze bottle, coffee, energy drink stuff, or I found these cold brew pods that I sent to put in my next supply boxes. And what, oh my God, yesterday I wasn't having it. But anyway, so with that whole situation happening, really slow progress, and didn't stop at Monument Rock, which is the rock that they use on the Standing Stone logo, that thing standing up. So I'm gonna have to come back and go see Monument Rock sometimes. I just didn't, it was getting late. I wanted to get to my campsite, which I couldn't quite decipher the instructions for. And I just kept going. So, this is where I marked the campsite. That's not where it actually is. But, up here is the power lines where I am right now. That little photo, picture icon is where I am right now. The instructions for campsites on the guide, which is this big fold-out thing, as well as the these instructions you can download, the suggested campsites you can download from the website. So you have camping instructions in both of these formats. So I had a really hard time deciphering them for this spot. I eventually figured out that it is legal to camp where I did up here, but they don't seem to recommend it because it's very exposed to wind and to the weather and all of that. So where they want you to camp is a little bit of a ways down, and then down a side trail going to Lock Road. So before coming up the slope that's now behind me, to get to the power lines, there where you make the sharp turn to come up to the power lines, you would keep going straight and then take a blue blaze trail toward Lock Valley Road. And there's supposedly a flat grassy area there that I couldn't find when I walked down that way. But I was really happy to camp up here. The thunderstorm forecast did not go through. They no longer forecasted that. It wasn't even windy, so it was beautiful. So going forward, today I have a 5 or 6 mile hike down out of this place, and then eventually up into not Mapleton, Three Springs, where there's a diner and a mini mart and a pizza place. So as soon as I get those 6 miles out of the way, I'm gonna be getting real food and coffee, which is great. And then after that, I have a steep hike up onto Jack's Mountain, and I'm gonna also camp with a view tonight, which is really cool. So I'm gonna have to keep going up Jack's Mountain and then camp at the fire tower, which is the next legal campsite. Well, around the fire tower area, which is the next legal campsite on here. So gonna try to get all my stuff done and charge up for a few hours in town and then keep hiking. Hopefully I don't get there too late. But man, oh man, yesterday, oh geez, I'm glad yesterday's over, and hope to get more into the flow of things today. This is one of the switchbacks coming down from the power lines. Look, they made steps. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. Got a bit of a dangerous road walk here, but a few more miles. And that's the diner. Woohoo! This place, the Spring Creek Diner, is awesome. They just let me hang out there for like over 5 hours. No problem, no questions asked. Wasn't even full, of course, but oh my gosh. The food was so good, and I now have 3 dots on my power bank. And my first video uploaded to YouTube. Woohoo! And I also had shelter from the 10-minute downpour that got everything wet. This is gonna go for 4 dinners. Gonna divide it up into bags. And I'm ditching my oatmeal for this. I have dehydrated milk. Have the bags to split all these 2 big boxes up. And a bunch of snacks and taco seasoning to go with the instant potatoes because they're not seasoned. And some Colby Jack cheese to throw on stuff. Some chips for today and maybe tomorrow. And a couple more snacks. Potatoes, Raisin Bran in my breakfast bag, and this is all stuff I have. Hey. Hey. Oh, hi. Oh, yeah. You think I'm a big animal. Want to eat you. Just want to say hello. There it goes. You. like this, don't you, buddy? And this is right in my headlamp. This is the Butler Knob shelter, which I'm very happy to have a shelter tonight. Whew, all the moss. It's 1 p.m., just after 1 p.m. at Butler Knob Shelter. Super cute, as you can see. I'll give you a proper walk around before I leave, but I spent the morning poring over maps and correlating the maps that I already had brought with me and the list of campsites that I had brought with me with the official guide and map, because a little bit of it, there are certain things that are slightly different, and I also needed to do some planning so that I can try to meet up with someone next week. Anyway, an update before I get going. So yesterday, as we know, this is the wrong one. Need to be looking at this side. Yesterday I camped at the power lines, which are right here, the end of section 2 of the trail. I hiked all the way into Three Springs, which was more than 6 miles. I think it was closer to 7 miles. And got into Three Springs around 11:30 and hung out at the Spring Creek Diner for, oh gosh, over 5 hours. I got there at 11:30. I was leaving after 4:30 p.m. with a 3/4 of the way charged power bank. And my first video uploaded to YouTube, my top 10 of the Appalachian Trail section. Finally got that uploaded, and I'm still backlogged on all the Tuscarora Trail videos, but they should be a lot easier to do, and I'm gonna try to knock out some of those in the days to come. So after I was at the diner, I went to the mini mart in Three Springs, did some final shopping because I didn't think I had quite enough food, and then hiked up to Butler Knob Shelter, where I am right now. This hike was like a steady climb. It's right here. It says it's 2.6 miles uphill, which is the longest uphill grade on this SST. After the food that I had at the diner, I was feeling good. So, sweating bullets, but headed up that gravel service road. So it turned out that yesterday was mostly road walking, because as soon as you come down into Meadow Gap, all of this is a road walk going into Three Springs, and then it was a gravel road going up here, and then except for this one brief section right here that goes into the woods and then back onto the gravel road, but I actually missed it. I was like here because it was getting dark. By the time I realized I'd missed the turnoff, I studied my maps and was like, it's gonna keep going. I don't feel like backtracking to go into woods to use my headlamp when I can still sort of see. So I'll have to catch that section maybe next time I come back and do this trail. I'd like to do it southbound sometime. But yeah, it was all gravel. And then when I made it to the spring that is right before reaching the shelter, I was getting my water for overnight, and it started raining super hard. Cats and dogs. I got caught in a downpour. It was the first time I'd actually gotten caught hiking in a downpour. There was like a 15-minute whoosh while I was at the diner. And then when I checked the weather, it wasn't supposed to rain, but it did. So I was so happy to have a shelter tonight. It's really beautiful. It says it was made in 2010 somewhere on here. And I really, 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 really enjoyed it. And this morning when I got up, I fixed my gear. I had a couple things to repair, and I needed to do some planning. I actually went through all the maps and made all my notes and marked on here where the different sections change. And then this list of campsites, which is written hiking southbound, so the first campsites are in section 9. I marked which section they're all in, and they had already been marked on my printed maps over here, but I kind of correlated them here, and now I have an idea of where I'm gonna camp for the rest of the trail. So I do believe, so right now I'm in section 3, and today the plan is gonna be to do the walk along the rest of Jack's Mountain. I'm gonna see some rock formations and vistas, the Throne Room, King's Chambers, Hall of the Mountain King, and then go through the state game lands, and then down into Mapleton. And there's a pavilion at the Riverside Memorial Park, Mapleton, where I'm gonna sleep. And then tomorrow, it's exciting, is gonna be the 1,000 Steps, one of the big highlights of the trail. So that should be fun. I'm gonna try to make it an early morning tomorrow so that I can do a good long, lots of miles during the day. But yeah, I'm gonna finally get going. I think it was how many? I have my logbook here. 12.4 miles I counted to go down to Riverside Memorial Park and get an early morning tomorrow for a change. I suck at getting up early. I truly, truly suck. I don't like it, and I need to discipline myself and start doing it, because it's really cool when you can be walking in the early hours of the morning. Having like a power nap in the afternoon is also amazing. After covering a good chunk of hours, it makes it really nice to keep going in the evening. I did that when I was on the Tuscarora going through Fowler's Hollow. I spent a couple hours in the afternoon at the shelter and napped a little bit, and then the evening hike was just easy peasy. So yeah. So coming northbound, you come up the trail this way, and then here is the shelter right along the trail. Since I had some sunshine this morning, I dried out my laundry from when I washed things at the diner yesterday, and my soaked socks from the rain. And I have my solar panels going and charging up. My power bank's attached to them right now. Let's see. Oh, it did go up. So yeah, it's slower than a wall plug, but it works. They're the NecTech 21 watt for anyone who's curious about that. So the shelter has this cute little fire ring with a barbecue and lots of nice roof area. And then this poster, Trail of the Year 2016 Standing Stone Trail. They totally deserve it. It's got a really amazing group of people behind this trail. Oh, and that's Monument Rock that I missed yesterday. Or not yesterday, the day before yesterday. And the emblem for the Great Eastern Trail. This is the eastern route for the Great Eastern Trail coming through Pennsylvania. And they even have a designated section 4 cat holes. They should go over here. And I can see why they did that, because it's a lot of rocky ground, and it would be annoying to be stepping on, you know, cat holes. And then the last thing is a little picnic table that they have over here. So you could manage to pitch a tent if you, it would be, I take that back. It would be tricky to pitch a tent in this area. You know, if you're not going to actually sleep in the shelter, I guess you could try to get a small one here, or maybe there, or even right on the trail, which you're not supposed to do. But oh, little spots. I guess you could find stuff. Oh, and over there they have a pole for hanging food. A bear food hang right here, which I didn't notice last night because it was raining cats and dogs. So I obviously didn't use it. But how does this work? Oh, I guess you use, oh, that's heavy. You use that thing to get the stuff up there to shove your bag onto the hook. That's a tall one. Okay, finally gonna gather myself and get moving. Good morning. I am at the Mapleton Riverside Park right now, about to continue hiking northbound along the Standing Stone Trail. This is the lovely little shelter that they have made for hikers. Very cute. And over there they have a pavilion area. That's actually, when you're hiking northbound, that's the first thing you see. You cross the bridge and then make a right, and then come up this road, and then that's the first thing of the park you see. It has these lights that turn on with motion sensors and all that fancy jazz. I knew there was a lean-to here, but I rolled in at 10:30 p.m. last night. Even though it was only a 12-mile hike, I had a late start, and I have had a hell of a time trying to focus on the trail the past few days. It has been really rough. I've been realizing now that I'm kind of at the midpoint of my 500 miles hike in Pennsylvania. I think I just passed, or today I'm going to pass the 250 mile mark. I need to add them up, but I'm right about the middle. And I've had a few days of just my whole system resisting the hike. Like my mind, my body, just not having it. So I pretty much dragged myself and didn't actually get into a flow of a hike. The first 3 miles took me forever. And then it wasn't until the evening hours that I actually got into a good flow. But anyway, it was fine. It was a more gravel road walking yesterday, and then a nice little descent into town through the forest. But at the end of the day, I rolled in at about 10:30 p.m. and it was very dark. So I got to the pavilion looking for the lean-to, and I couldn't find it. My battery on my headlamp was running low, had replacement batteries, didn't want to use them yet. And I wandered, so there's the pavilion, and then there's this playing field here with kind of a screens, and then these little bleachers next to them. I got that far, and didn't keep going, and there was no way for me to see what was back here. There were 2 girls who stayed, and I met them this morning. But last night, I spent the night in the pavilion. There's this weird cinder block thing, and that was kind of like a shielding me from view. And I just rolled out my air mattress on top of my tarp and slept there. And then came over here when I saw this is where it was in the morning, and that there were a couple girls here, and chatted with them a little while. They recommended a campsite that is near a sunset view, so I'm looking forward to that. So I'm about to hit the 1,000 steps, which is a highlight along the Standing Stone Trail. It's about a little over a mile, I think, from here. And then once I'm up there, it's only a total of 7 miles to the campsite around Shorb Summit area. So yeah, I'm gonna have a short day because my mind and my body are asking for a break. I'm realizing that hiking is very much a mental sport, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Oh yeah. I think my mistake was not taking a longer break between the Tuscarora Trail and the Standing Stone Trail. The Tuscarora Trail was very challenging, and it wore me out. And I took a few hours at Cohen's Gap State Park, showered, had burger, and picked up my food supply box from the state park office, and then hopped right on the Standing Stone. And I maybe should have taken a little bit longer break just to kind of rest and recover, and then start with a clean slate this section of trail. I don't think I'm gonna make that mistake again. When I finish the Standing Stone Trail, it'll be a couple days on the Mid-State Trail, and I will take a 0 at one of the state parks that I hit along the way, so that I can fresh trail, fresh start. Switching trails takes some effort. It's just a whole different logistical setup, and different feel, and different people, and different kind of support. It's just different. So before I leave, I will show you a little bit of the river. This is the Juniata River. I think I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm not quite sure. There's a little wooden platform down there. And then if you go to yay end of the park, there's a slide, a little playground, which they're gonna expand, so I hear, and another parking lot. in a little ramp to put your boat in the river. While I was hanging out here at the picnic table this morning, several locals stopped by to chat. Really nice people. I love what they've done with the place. I love the fact that you can camp here for free. Donation box is right over there, ish. Which I'm gonna leave a little something because they really have taken care of this place. This is one of the tent pads where they have sand for you to pitch your tent, and they have several of these. I can see one here, and then 1, 2, I think 3 more, 4 more over there. So just a quick glance, I see 5 total. So I'm gonna get going and climb those 1,000 steps. Woohoo! Made it to the top. Woohoo! Alright, trail continues this way. Here's my campsite and all my assorted food items. The Shorbs summit is very close to here, down that way. There's a boulder field where I tried to see the sunset last night and it was cloudy, so no good. And then right after that is Shorbs summit. So it's not a lot of flat, but managed to find a spot. Drama this morning is that my air mattress, the Climate Static V2, got a puncture in it, so I was on the ground at some point last night. Gonna try to pack up and get moving because it looks like this guy wants to start sending down some water, and I'd like to pack a clean, dry tent. So this is Shorbs Summit right here. Just next to Shorbs Summit, there's another boulder field. Which is this one. I hung out here in the last few hours of the evening yesterday. Blazing hot sun, which was nice to recharge my power bank, keep it all topped up. Nice. And my campsite from here is a very short way. It's all packed up now, but I can show you where it is. And this is the campsite right here. I concluded this morning that I'm suffering from a bit of hiker burnout from the Tuscarora challenge. I've been feeling very sluggish and kind of dragging myself and lacking motivation on the Standing Stone Trail, which is very beautiful and not challenging compared to the Tuscarora. But having experienced real life burnout before, I was like, oh, I think that's what it is, because I want to hike. I'm excited to do this, but I just don't feel the motivation, and I feel extremely tired and sluggish. I really enjoyed the 2 hours last night that I had, 2 or 3 hours, after I'd done cooking, after I'd finished cooking and setting up camp, and doing all the other logistical things I needed to do. For the first time in a number of days, I just had time to chillax. Lesson learned, hiker burnout is a thing, and we're gonna remedy it. I think I have reached my destination. Yes. Oh, it's cute. What a pretty campsite. Oh my gosh. Yes. Love it. Oh my God, these are so cool. This here is telling me it's 4 miles to Greenwood Forest State Park. Every mile they've had those markers, so making progress. It's a snake. Not the poisonous kind, but still, he's staring at me. Okay. I just want to go by, honey. No, you're supposed to go in the other direction, not come towards me. He's feeling threatened. Come on, hon. I just want to go by. I don't want to touch you. Nothing. Can you let me by? Yeah, okay, bye. Bye-bye. I am at the Greenwood Furnace Fire Tower, which is just over there. You can sort of see the base of it from here. Taking my last break, which I'm wrapping up now, and just a few short miles to go to finish the Standing Stone Trail. It's been a while since I filmed my last update because the last few days have been rough, so I was like, yeah, we'll do this when there's a headspace for it, which is now, before the end. So, what has happened? I found a campsite by Shorb's Summit. So I had hoped to get a sunset there, didn't manage to because it was cloudy. After that, I had to haul through all of the rest of Section 6 and all of Section 7 because Section 7 is basically all on state game lands. So Shorb's Summit would have been right here. It's a little bit cut off. And then Section 6 ends at the 655 crossing. And then all of Section 7 is on the state game lands, which were kind of nice. It was a nice forest walk, nothing too eventful. But getting towards the end of it, it started getting cool with big rocks. And at the very, very, very end, there is a marked campsite just as you enter Rothrock State Forest. So I camped there, and this next day, going into Section 8, was more really cool rocks and some pretty cool views going up to Stone Mountain, Hawkwatch, stone piles, and I ended up finding a campsite that's not on the list or on this guide right by this power line that is in between Hidden Vista and Big Valley Vista. That looks like a site that somebody just recently pulled together. It had this flat patch that had just been nicely cleared away and a fire ring that was beautifully rigged up. So I enjoyed that, and I did enjoy a sunset there. And that was last night. So today I walked 4 miles, a little over 4 miles to get to Greenwood Furnace State Park. Walked around there a little bit, got to see the big furnaces, and took the forest walk up to the fire tower, which right here is a very nice camp spot. This is a big field, and then over right below the fire tower you could also set up camp, and there's another fire ring. And now all I have to do is go down from Broad Mountain, which is here, and walk a couple miles, and I'm done. I'm at Detweiler Junction. So just near that end point, I will be getting picked up. Gonna head over to State College for 2 nights for a true 0 day. Use Priceline to find a nice hotel for a little bit cheaper, and I'm really gonna enjoy that. So might hit the Aqua Cave. I'm gonna use their swimming pool to try to find the leak in my sleeping mat, because for the past 3 nights I have been sleeping on the cold hard ground because my mat is got a leak, so it disinflates within a short amount of time. My bum's on the ground. It hasn't been too bad because they've been pine needles. So if you have to have, you know, self against the ground, it's not bad. So I would have liked to vlog a bit more these past few days. I've just been trying to haul my butt through this to get to the end. I'm feeling a little bit better today. It's a beautiful day, all breezy, and I gotta get moving because in a couple hours I'm gonna have my ride. Woohoo! And a clean bed and a shower, and maybe if I'm feeling fancy I'll buy a razor and shave my legs, because my legs are kind of disgusting. Oh god, they're dirty too. Oh my god, yeah. Anyway, so lost the map. Come back, I need you. I want you, I don't need you anymore. So after this it's off to the Mid-State Trail for just over 200 miles to wrap up my 500 miles in Pennsylvania. Off to the last stretch, we can do this. And it's the end, the last moments of the Standing Stone Trail. Woohoo! Doesn't even say Northern Terminus or anything. Oh well. It is a bit anticlimactic, but this is it. It's done. Woohoo! So when I come back, I'm gonna continue along the MST North. But for now, I've got to go 0.2 miles southbound to get my ride. Should be here soon.